President Tinubu meets United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. African developmental issues top discussion. Plus, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority inaugurates a 35-member committee to enhance aviation safety. These and more on Panorama today. I am Elizabeth Omori. President Bola Tinubu says African nations would no longer accept a situation in which human rights advocacy is used to deter developing economies from checkmating malign actors who illicitly siphon the continent's vast mineral resources while smuggling weapons, enriching wealthy economies in the world at the expense of Africa's stability and wealth creation. President Tinubu took the message to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the Global Body's headquarters in New York. State House correspondent Musbaud Wahab reports.
The sideline events for President Bola Tinubu in New York were getting to the climax as he visited the global governing body's helmsman. It was going to be another meeting of frank talk as President Tinubu again bore his mind on perceived injustice to African nations. The Nigerian leader noted that the United Nations must transform from being one of the world's foremost talk shops to discuss global issues into becoming the world's foremost action coordination center, saying that a situation in which 70% of resources being devoted to the world's poorest countries are being spent and sent back out on overheads and administrative costs will defeat the purpose and objectives of the organization where help is needed most. He believes the poverty ravaging Africa and the question of security and counter-terrorism requires nations to work in close and effective synergy. The president said Nigeria will no longer shy away from confronting the enemies on its land. As he said, he fought and was detained for democracy and is now determined as president to prove that democracy can provide the development that the nation and the continent so urgently demands. And Antonio Guterres emphasized that the UN system is in the process of real reform that will largely address some of the institutional lack of decision-making power for the developing world, on whose behalf more than 75% of UN resources are accrued. The UN Secretary General further assured President Tinubu of the fullest support of the border system for ECOWAS in light of a series of military coups which have occurred in the West African sub-region in the past few months and years. The Nigerian leader also stopped by at the office of his Nigerian sister and Deputy Secretary General of the UN, Amina Mohammed.
God bless you.
Earlier, the president was at the National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation Stock Markets, NASDAQ office, an American stock exchange based in New York City. The U.S. African Business Center of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce hosted the Nigerian leader. Not just as the president, his track record as Lagos State governor went ahead of him.
He was named the best governor in Nigeria by the Nigerian Belgian Chamber of Commerce, as well as receiving several other awards. Congratulations.
Again, an opportunity used to a maximum advantage as the Chief Marketing Officer of Nigeria projects his country's readiness for business.
There's an immense opportunity in Nigeria that you can invest your money without fear. We've removed a lot of bottlenecks. You are free to take in your money and bring out your money. I count on you to invest in Nigeria.
And here, at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, the honor does not come bigger than performing the iconic bell-ringing ceremony.
We're here to acknowledge the significant strides that the capital markets have made since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president. For people who observe our capital markets, we have seen, market performance very strong. Investors have reacted very strongly to the policy changes that he has implemented.
So we are here, we are discussing, we are going to see how we can get investors to come and support Nigeria and support the initiative of His Excellency Mr. President. I think it is an exciting moment.
The ceremony symbolizes the significance of economic ties between the United States of America and Nigeria. From New York, Musbao and Wahab, NTA News.
And back home, Plateau State Governorship Election Tribunal affirms Governor Caleb Mutfwang as duly elected governor of Plateau State, dismissing APC's petition for lacking in merit. We now join Caleb Goshen in Jos, who will bring us up to speed on the judgment. Caleb, thank you so much for joining us on Panorama.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, and thank you for joining us in Jos. I can confirm that the whole town is agog. People are rejoicing over this verdict given today. So contrary to insinuations in places that there will be problems, there will be crisis, I tell you the town is peaceful. I tell you the people are just happy. And we are here at the Langfield Event Center where they are converging for celebrations. So everybody from the town is converging here at the Langfield Center to celebrate this victory. And with me are young people who are really part of this celebration. Jonathan will be their spokesperson, and he is saying that Plateau State is for all of them. So they should all rally around and support the governor that has just been confirmed today. So Jonathan, how are the youths feeling today?
You can see we are all excited. We are full of smilings in our faces because God has actually done it. As you can see the shout from behind, this is the voice of the people, and the people have spoken. Seriously, with Caleb Mutfwang, the prospect is so wow. So we are ready for it. Yes, sir.
All right, Elizabeth, I think you can hear from one of them. It's all right. So do you have any question for these young people that are here? But the assurance is that, yes, the confirmation has come. Although, yes, the opposition has indicated its readiness to appeal. But for now, everyone is peaceful. Everywhere is peaceful.
All right, I wouldn't be having any question now, but we hope to get updates from you and subsequent bulletins, Caleb. Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Panorama continues in our studios in Maiduguri.
Wheat is the most popularly globally accepted cereal grown on virtually all continents, a raw material that keeps industries moving and consumed by all human societies. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 2020, global production of wheat peaked to 761 million tons, with grading in the cereal greater than all other crops combined. Wheat is mainly grown in the northern state of Nigeria, with Borno once a leading producer of wheat grown by local farmers and the Chad Basin Development Authority during the cold Harmattan dry season. Available record shows that wheat production in Nigeria fell by more than 38% in 5 years, despite the surging demand for the commodity and the billions of naira spent by the federal government to boost output here in Borno State. The insurgency, lack of close supervision, and farmers' preference for rice cultivation have been identified as major issues limiting the cultivation of the cereal. Now, with the improved security and resettled drive of government, what then are the funds made to boost wheat production in the state? This is our focus on Panorama from NTA Maiduguri Zonal Center. I am Ladidi Musa. Glad to have you join us. The Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Karibe Alamin Al-Kanemi, has pledged his council support to enlighten communities to seek and access health care services at the primary health care facilities. The royal father made the commitment when health managers and partners, led by the executive director, State Primary Health Care Development Agency Mohammed Alhaji Arab paid him homage in his palace. Pauline Kujavana completes the report.
Borno State Primary Healthcare Development Agency was adjudged to be the overall winner in the country with award of $1.2 million by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for sustained effort in meeting the health needs of the people. This followed record-breaking achievement in the primary healthcare across the state, occasioned by improved routine immunizations, increased antenatal care and child spacing, and containment of disease outbreaks, among others. The Shehu of Borno, Abubakar ibn Umar Garbai Al-Amin El-Kanami, who traced the history of Borno and the calamities that befell it, stood the state out in terms of response to policies and programs targeting their well-being.
We have been cooperating, we have been guiding, assisting, and I will still encourage you or urge you to go in this direction, especially help the lives to attend to DC heads, because they are my direct representative for the local level. And the community only knows the traditional authority ahead of any other.
Executive Director, State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Mohammed Alhaji Arab, attributed the achievement recorded to the sensitization by the Emirate Council, while the containment of the recent outbreak of diphtheria in 8 local government areas was achieved through active response of partners.
With strong collaboration with other community stakeholders, such as religious leaders, upon whom the community look upon for their religious guidance. They also possess the knowledge and skill for positively shaping the behaviors of our community.
The visit sought the Royal Father's blessings and support for the success of primary health care activities in the state. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujavana, NTA News.
Panorama continues shortly. We take a break here. Panorama continues shortly. Thanks for staying tuned. Wheat is one of the most consumed food commodities in Nigeria, with its annual demand put at over 15 million metric tons. The distributing iron, however, is less than 500,000 metric tons are produced locally in the country. Hence, Nigeria remains net importer of the commodity. National Association of Wheat Farmers, Processors and Marketers of Nigeria has resolved to collaborate with the Lectured Research Institute Maiduguri with a view of fast-tracking sufficiency in local wheat production. Fatima Isa reports.
Wheat is one of the most highly demanded crops in the country, needed for both direct consumption or industrial processing, with billions of naira spent on its importation, as local production has over the years remained grossly inadequate despite huge opportunities that abound. The National Association of Wheat Farmers, Processors and Marketers of Nigeria is worried by outlook of events and is desperate to change the narratives. Collaborative partners with Lectured Research Institute, which bears the national mandate and gender proficiency in wheat production, is one of the immediate resolutions of the association. Its national president, Shuaibu Hamza, who led a delegation to the Maiduguri headquarters of the institute, is optimistic that a breakthrough is achievable through quality seeds and training in genetic improvement of wheat production in the country.
We want to do something different as an association. In addition to the normal cultivation of the dry season, we want to go into rainy season too. And some of those states that do not cultivate wheat, we want to engage them too with your rain-fed variety that can do in Obudu, that can do in Mambila, and that can do in Jos. We are very happy to hear about that.
On its part, Lectured Research Institute has confirmed commitment to meet the demands of the association, which tallies with the mandates of the institute. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
Borno State was one of the largest wheat-producing states in Nigeria before the outbreak of insurgency, which dislodged farmers to take refuge in IDP camps and neighboring countries of Cameroon, Chad, and Niger, leading to the shortfall in the production. Because of increasing demand comes reliance on imported wheat, rising prices of the cereal. Following improved security, wheat production is gradually picking up in view of the greater opportunities of economic and nutritional benefits it provides as government and stakeholders work hard to improve farming systems, seed varieties, mechanization, and extension services. To discuss effort being made to boost wheat production in Borno State is the Director and Chief Executive Officer, Lecture Research Institute, Maiduguri, Professor Babagana Jugudum Kabir. You are welcome, sir. You're welcome to Panorama this afternoon. We're pleased to have you.
Yeah.
So let's start by knowing the wheat production level in Nigeria in contrast to the national demand.
The wheat production level in Nigeria is very low, between 170 to 200,000 metric tons, while the demand is put at about 5.7 million metric tons, which means that the local production constitutes only about 4% of the demand.
Okay. How far will the improved varieties developed and released, including release of rain-fed wheat production?
Well, the Institute, since its inception and the transfer of the mandate of genetic improvement of wheat to the Institute in 1987, has developed and released 17 wheat varieties, out of which 2 are rain-fed varieties, which are adapted to the local condition of the Nigerian plateaus, specifically Jos Plateau, Mambila Plateau, and the Obudu Plateaus. Then 2 other varieties are Durham wheat, otherwise called the hard wheat, which is used for pastas, macaronis, spaghettis, and other hard produce.
Okay. So, now that we are in the post-insurgency era, with most communities resettled, what are the Institute's proposed activities for the 2023-2024 wheat cropping season in Borno State in particular?
Well, the Institute is partnering with the government of the Borno State, and a lot of meetings has been conducted, and we have come to agree on the areas of collaboration, and more importantly for the Institute, these are the areas of capacity building. Being a research institute, we have developed technologies and we want to transfer these technologies to wheat farmers. We also help in identifying the areas that are suitable for wheat production, and I'm very pleased that the Borno State government has taken the issue of wheat production very seriously, to the extent that it's now exploring areas that are not known for wheat production before, apart from the shores of the Lake Chad. So in addition to that, we are also looking at how we are going to develop a robust wheat seed system for the wheat farmers in the state.
Okay. So now, do you envisage any challenge that may affect actualization of the proposed activities, and how do you intend to surmount it?
The challenges are known. The greatest challenge we may have is the availability of water.
Okay.
And this is the reason which brought about the collapse of the Chad Basin Development Authority, specifically the shrinkage of the Lake Chad. However, plans are underway to explore other sources of water, and in the long run we are envisaging water harvesting and collection for the purpose of wheat production.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you quickly advise farmers on what to do to have appreciable yield in wheat production?
I want to make a number of recommendations or advice to farmers. First is for them to appreciate that wheat production is very profitable, and the returns on investment is about 30% or more if good production practices are adopted. Then in addition to that, they should also use our technology. The technology of production that we have developed can make a farmer to produce up to 5 to 7 tons per hectare And then we also have helplines. Apart from the pamphlets and other information that has to do with extension, we also we have farmers helpline and the Northeast Zonal Agricultural Information Center, through which the farmers can reach to us for any problem concerning wheat or any other crop that is grown within this area.
Okay, thank you so very much for coming for Panorama this afternoon. We're pleased to have you. Have a beautiful day, sir.
Thank you.
That was Professor Babagana Jigudum Kabir, Chief Executive Officer, Lecture Research Institute. Moving on, plastics as one of the contributing factors to climate change hazard have direct negative impact across the life cycle, the consequences of which are neither visible nor obvious. Zainab Adam is standing by for this.
The impact of climate change on environmental and socio-economic systems is a source of concern, as the 2021 Nottingham Global Adaptation Index ranks Nigeria as the 53rd most vulnerable country and 6th least ready country in the world to adapt to climate change. Among other factors that continue to negatively affect human and animal life, and of course, the ecosystem is indiscriminate disposal of pollutants. With me here is an energy and environmental engineering specialist from University of Maiduguri, Mohammed Shua, who will shed more light on the human practice on the environment.
You can see from the dump behind us, a larger percentage of the waste is made up of polythene bags, and as we all know, they are non-biodegradable, despite the fact that they take a very long time for them to degrade, and then they contribute immensely to environmental pollution. Some can be used for other things, like mixing them with sand and making pavements out of them, which has been applied in other African countries. This can also be done here. In fact, getting them out of the environment will also create a job opportunity to the teeming unemployed youth, and by and large, the most important thing will keep the environment clean.
Up next is Sport Update with Olumide Oguntola.
We begin with the National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State. 4,500 athletes from 36 states of the Federation, including FCT Abuja, are set to compete in 35 sports, with some major events scheduled for this Saturday. The Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, wants the country to produce future stars through the games. In handball, Chief Coach of Nigeria's Under-18 Women Handball Team, Coach Shitu Agbola, has assured Nigerians of victory as the team takes on their Egyptian counterparts in the semi-final of the African Women's Youth Handball Championship Friday. The Nigerian handball players made history on Wednesday as they qualified for the 2024 IHF Women's Youth Handball Championship for the first time, after defeating Morocco 28-14 in the quarterfinal of the African Women's Youth Handball Championship in Tunisia. The World Women's Youth Handball Championship comes up next year in China. In football, Super Eagles head coach Jose Pacero is optimistic that Napoli's striker Victor Osimhen is destined for the coveted Ballon d'Or award. The coach expressed hope that Osimhen will smile to Nigeria with the title after he made the 12 elite players shortlist vying for this year's award. In tennis, Rafael Nadal sparked fears as he made a worrying admission about his return from injury. The Spaniard has not played a match since January and underwent arthroscopic hip surgery in June. Nadal is currently planning a comeback in 2024, but he said he has to be realistic and accept there was a possibility he may not recover. With Sports Update, Olumide Oguntola, NTA News.
That concludes Panorama from the studios of NTA Maiduguri Network Center. Do have a beautiful day.